So now, Potter out of Chelsea, does it surprise you that Leicester moved quickly, by all accounts? Because Potter has rejected an approach from Leicester for an immediate return to management. What do you think, Simon? Is it a matter of right man, wrong time?
Probably. I mean, let's not alter the fact that no one disputes the fact he's a very good coach. No one disputed the fact that he was doing good work at Brighton. I mean, the other guys kicked it up a notch, by the way, Roberto De Zerbi. So whilst you've got to give a lot of credit to Graham Potter because he built a nice little platform for this Roberto De Zerbi to jump off, he has kicked it up a notch. So going back to the question, yeah, it's not surprising. I think it's probably unrealistic to assume this isn't Dean Smith jumping out of Aston Villa to Norwich. This is Graham Potter going from the supposed penthouse of Chelsea to the basement of Leicester right now. Not that Leicester are a basement football club. They're the Premier League winners 5 or 6 years ago. But they are in the doldrums. They are in a situation where allegedly the club's up for sale. There's no investment in the team. And a manager that's got a reputation of being a high-end operator has left the football club in a very sorry state. So it doesn't surprise me. And I don't think Potter... unless the interview would have happened and Potter was like, I'm so furious, I'm so desperate to prove the point that ultimately I was badly treated at Chelsea and never given an opportunity, you're not going to get a guy that comes across the Rubicon into Leicester to go, well, actually, I'm quite happy accepting the fact that I'm a relegation fodder manager now. Yeah. So it's unrealistic to accept. But yeah, to answer your question in its purest form, yeah, it was wrong. It's the right manager probably at the wrong time.
Yes. And of course on Leicester, Brendan Rodgers through the LMA has been making a statement.
Oh yeah.
And he's thanking everybody as you might expect him to do. Thanks to players, to staff for all their hard work. He says there's a strong infrastructure and environment in place that puts the club in a strong footing. Yeah. I'm really disappointed to depart so close to the end of the season and had every confidence that we would have delivered the results needed to preserve the club's Premier League status. Now, that confidence he might have had, but the hierarchy acted maybe not sharing that confidence quite clearly.
Yeah, I mean, look, I my reading of the room is that neither one of them fancied one another anymore. I don't think Leicester's ownership would have been 100% behind Rodgers, and I don't think Rodgers was 100% behind the task. So in this instance, at the very best, I'd say mutual consent was probably quite accurate. My leading, my gut, my nose tells me that it's more to do with Brendan Rodgers going, I can't fancy this anymore.
Yeah.
And he'll refute and dispute that because that's not a good look for him.
Sure.
But the bottom line is that Leicester, under his watch, with good players, and Danny Murphy will make the case that the reasons were, hang on, Simon, stop criticising Leicester. When they get Maddison back in that side, it'll kick on. Well, they got Maddison back in that side, and they haven't kicked on.
Yeah.
In fact, they got worse.
Yeah. It seems that certain clubs who are seeking new managers have a different stance on things and a different outlook. The back of the Times this morning, Chelsea want new manager by next week. Or maybe. We saw Stellini in charge of Tottenham last night with Ryan Mason. It would seem that Daniel Levy's going to go with them until the end of the season.
Yep.
Then think. Yep. But of course, these clubs, you have to think by and large, will be going for the same targets.
Possibly.
Nagelsmann's in there. Pochettino.
Yeah.
You know the drill.
Possibly. I mean, ultimately, both jobs come with a sting in their tail, don't they? If you look at the Tottenham and Chelsea jobs, irrespective of defending both regimes at certain times and criticise them at other times, if you go to Chelsea, you know what you're facing. They've clearly shown you nothing's changed. Roman Abramovich has disappeared from the scene and the same order will be maintained. Huge spending, huge ambition, consequences for managers that don't achieve. Flip side of the argument, Tottenham Hotspur. Less expectation, less delivery, less resources, Daniel Levy. So all of those have their own challenges with them.
Yeah.
I mean, both are good jobs. Both are for ambitious football managers that are capable of doing a job, that are good at what they do. Both of them are great jobs. For pretenders, for people that are no longer where they once were before, that want to blame everybody else for their shortcomings, they're not great jobs.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.